Imagine a family reunion, burgers sizzling, kids hollering, everyone faking that Norman Rockwell vibe. Then I lose the TV remote, and it's like I tossed a grenade into the whole damn thing. My cousin S screaming bloody murder, my aunt S airing mom S dirty laundry, and dad S one step from bolting all over a 15-piece of plastic I couldn't find. By the time it was over, I wasn't sure we'd ever share a meal again, let alone a holiday card. I'm Chris, 44, a divorced warehouse grunt from Akron, Ohio, who turned a chill Saturday into a family apocalypse without even trying. Pull up a chair, this one's gonna take a while. I'm a guy who's seen better days, 2 bad knees, a receding hairline, and an ex-wife, Tara, who ditched me for a yoga dude named Sage 2 years back. No kids, just a beat-up Chevy Silverado and a 1-bedroom apartment off Market Street that smells like damp carpet and regret. My family's your typical Midwestern mess. Mom, Patty, 68, a retired elementary school teacher who's all hugs until you cross her. Dad, Jim, 70, a mechanic with a temper shorter than a spark plug and a gut from too many beers. My cousin Danny, 39, a bar manager with a loud mouth, married to Jess, 36, a preschool teacher who keeps him in line, and Aunt Sue, 65, Mom's younger sister, a widow who's sweet as pie unless she's pissed. We hadn't all been in one place since Grandma Ruth's funeral 5 years ago. Her passing left a hole, and we drifted like leaves in a storm. So when Mom called up this reunion for August 10, 2024, at her brick 2-story on Pine Road, I figured it'd be a chance to eat, drink, and dodge the usual bullshit. Nope, turns out, I'd be the one stirring it. I rolled up around noon that Saturday, the sun beating down like a hammer, the air thick with humidity that made my shirt stick to my back. Mom's place hadn't changed, red brick faded to pink, a porch swing creaking in the breeze, a backyard big enough for a grill and a card table but overgrown with weeds since Dad stopped mowing. I parked next to Dad's F-150, its bumper still sporting a Reagan 84 sticker, and hauled my cooler of Coke and a 6-pack of Miller Lite to the door. Mom met me with a hug, her gray hair pulled into a bun, apron dusted with flour. "Chris, you're early, good boy," she said, her voice warm but tired. Inside, the house smelled like grilled meat and nostalgia. Floral curtains, a plaid couch sagging in the middle, a coffee table scarred from years of us kids banging toys on it. Dad was out back, hunched over the grill, flipping burgers with a spatula in one hand and a Budweiser in the other. "Don't burn 'em this time, Jimmy," Mom called through the screen door. He grunted, "I know what I'm doing, Patty, been grilling since you were in pigtails." I smirked, "Same old dance." Danny and Jess pulled up 10 minutes later in their Dodge minivan, their twins, Max and Leo, spilling out like a tornado, 8-year-olds with buzz cuts and grass-stained knees, already chasing each other with sticks. Jess lugged a cooler of juice boxes, her blonde ponytail bouncing, while Danny swaggered in, a Coors Light already cracked. "'Cause ready to lose at cards later," he said, clapping my shoulder. "In your dreams," I shot back, popping a Coke. Aunt Sue arrived last, her old Buick rattling in, arms full of potato salad and a smile that could melt ice. "Family day, have been too long," she said, hugging me tight. We settled into a lazy rhythm, Mom in the kitchen prepping buns and coleslaw, Dad cursing the grill when the flames flared, Danny and me tossing a football with the twins in the yard. Jess set up a kiddie pool, splashing with Max and Leo, while Sue unfolded chairs and chattered about her garden. It felt good, almost normal, like we could pretend the last 5 years of silence didn't happen. Around 3, I ducked inside to cool off. The AC was humming, barely keeping up, and flipped on the Browns game. Pre-season, sure, but a tied score in the third quarter had me hooked. I sank into the couch, remote in hand, volume up just enough to hear over the twins' shrieks outside. That's when it all went sideways. "Where's the damn remote?" I muttered 10 minutes later, patting the cushions. The game was heating up, a fourth down play I didn't want to miss, and the clicker was gone. I'd set it down somewhere, coffee table, armrest, hell, maybe my lap, but it vanished. Danny poked his head in, sweaty from the yard. "What's up, man? Lost the remote?" I said, flipping the couch pillows. He laughed, loud and obnoxious. "You're a freaking disaster, Chris. Check your pockets, it's probably stuck up your ass." "Hilarious," I said, chucking a pillow at him. "Help me look, asshole." He shrugged, sauntering over. "You're the one who lost it, your mess." Mom called from the kitchen, "Try the recliner, it's always falling in there." I checked, nothing but lint and a quarter. Jess walked in, twins trailing her with wet feet. "What's with the noise? It's just a remote." "Just a remote," Danny snapped, turning on her. "It's the Browns, Jess, this is life or death." She rolled her eyes. "You're ridiculous." I kept searching under the TV stand, behind the curtains, even the bookshelf with Mom's old Reader's Digests, but zilch. Danny's grin faded. "You're such a screw-up, Chris. Can't keep track of shit." Wiping her hands. "Boys, settle down, it's not worth a fight." But Danny wasn't settling. "It's not just the remote, Ma, he's always half-assing everything." "Half-assing?" I snapped. "I'm here, guarantee I drove 2 hours for this." Dad stormed in, spatula dripping grease. "What's this racket? I'm trying to cook." "Your son lost the remote," Danny said, smirking. Dad grunted, "Figures. Chris can't do anything right." That cut deep. "I'm not a failure, just a guy," so I fired back, "Oh, great, Dad's got wisdom now. Where was that when I was scraping by after Tara left?" The room went dead silent. Mom's eyes widened like saucers. Danny's jaw dropped. Sue gasped, hand to her mouth. Dad's face darkened, veins popping. "Watch your mouth, boy," he growled, stepping closer. "I worked my ass off while you whined." "Worked?" I laughed, bitter as hell. "You mean dodging us half the time I raised myself after you bailed." Mom cut in, "Chris, stop it." But Danny piled on. "He's got a point, Uncle Jim, you were never around." Dad wheeled on him. "Stay out of it, Danny." Jess grabbed the twins, muttering, "This is insane," and hauled them back outside. I was fuming now. "You don't get to play martyr, Dad. I survived because you checked out." Aunt Sue, quiet till then, spoke up, voice trembling. "Maybe he checked out for a reason, Chris." We all turned. "What's that mean?" I asked. She hesitated, then dropped it. "Your mom pushed him away. Ask her about Gary." "Gary?" I said, brain scrambling. Mom's face went pale as a ghost. "Sue, don't you dare." But Sue kept going. "Your mom had a thing with Gary Wheeler in 04. Jim found out." The air sucked out of the room. Danny blinked. "Wait, what?" I stared at Mom. "Gary the mailman," Dad roared. "Shut up, Sue." But Mom snapped, "No, let her talk, she's been itching to for years." Sue crossed her arms. "You cheated, Patty. Jim left because of it." "Left?" Mom yelled. "He didn't leave, he just sulked and drank." I felt like the floor dropped out. All those years, I'd blamed Dad for walking away. Now this I stood frozen, the living room spinning as Aunt Sue's bombshell about Mom and Gary hung in the air like smoke after a firecracker. Mom's face was a mix of shock and fury, Dad's veins bulged like they'd pop, and Danny gaped like he'd just seen a ghost. The Browns game blared on the TV, a useless hum against the shouting match erupting around me. Jess hovered at the door, twins tugging her hands, while the grill outside smoked, burgers turning to ash. All this chaos over a lost remote, a cheap piece of junk I'd misplaced. I'm Chris, the idiot who turned a family reunion into a war zone, and now I was drowning in the fallout. Mom wheeled on Sue, her voice a razor. You've got no damn right, Sue. Gary was nothing. Jim twisted it into something it wasn't. Dad stepped up, his growl shaking the walls. Nothing. I saw you at the diner, Patty laughing, touching his arm like some floozy. Touching his arm, Mom snapped, hands flying to her hips. We were talking. He delivered our mail, you jealous ass. You made it a scandal. Sue smirked, arms crossed tight. Talking at the Red Roof Inn, spare me the innocent act. Danny's eyes popped. Holy shit, Aunt Patty, you banged the mailman? No. Mom yelled, tears spilling. It was one lunch. Jim's the one who ran off. I couldn't hold it in. Enough. What the hell's going on? My voice cracked, chest tight. Mom turned to me, eyes glistening. Your father's full of it, Chris. He checked out years before Gary. Full of it, Dad roared, face beet red. You broke us, Patty, not me. Sue grinned like a cat with a mouse. Tell em about the letters, Jim. Letters, I said, gut sinking. Mom glared at Sue. What letters? Sue dropped it cold. Jim wrote to some broad in Toledo 0304. Saw em in his truck, all sweet and sappy. Danny's jaw hit the floor. Uncle Jim, you had a side chick too. Dad exploded, fists clenched. That's a lie, Sue. Those were work orders, parts lists. Parts lists with I miss you, darling. Sue fired back, voice sharp as a blade. Mom gasped, hand to her chest. You two-faced bastard, Jim. You've got no room to point fingers. I felt like I'd been sucker punched. So you both cheated, I shouted, hands shaking. Danny laughed, a bitter cackle. This is better than reality TV. Why all are nuts. Jess grabbed his arm, hissing, Danny, stop, we're out of here. He jerked free. No way, I'm watching this shit show. The room turned into a battlefield. Mom screamed at Dad, you lying son of a bitch. Dad bellowed back, you started it, Patty, don't play saint. Sue egged them on, tell the truth for once, both of you. Danny yelled over them, you're all freaking lunatics. The twins wailed, Jess dragging them out, shouting, you're a bunch of psychos. I tried to cut through everybody, shut the hell up. But it was like yelling at a freight train. Dad snatched his hat, snarling, I'm done with you ungrateful pricks, and stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture frame crashed to the floor. His truck roared, tires screeching as he peeled away. Sue grabbed her purse, muttering, should ve stayed quiet, and bolted to her Buick, dust trailing her exit. Mom collapsed on the couch, sobbing, I never wanted this. Danny turned on me, eyes blazing. Great job, Chris, you fucked it all up. Me, I snapped, heart pounding. I didn't screw around or hide letters, I just lost a remote. He flipped me off. You lit the fuse, dipshit, own it. He grabbed his keys, stormed out with Jess and the twins, their minivan kicking gravel as they sped off. The house fell silent, just me and Mom, the TV muttering about a Browns fumble nobody cared about. The grill outside smoked, burgers black as tar, a perfect symbol of the mess I'd walked into. I sat beside Mom, head in my hands. Was it true, Gary? She wiped her face, voice raw. One lunch, Chris at the diner. Your dad saw us, lost his mind. Nothing happened. And the letters? I asked. She shrugged, broken. I don't know, maybe. He was gone a lot, always working late. I started cleaning, tossed the charred meat, scrubbed the grill, stacked plates because standing still felt worse. The remote turned up later, under the couch, scratched and useless, laughing at me. I held it, chuckling like a madman, 15 of pure disaster. Mom stayed quiet, nursing a glass of water, staring at nothing. I crashed on her couch that night, too wired to drive, replaying every shout, every accusation. Was it my fault? Sure, I lost the damn thing, but they'd been hiding these grenades. Dad's Toledo woman, Mom's lunch, Danny's grudge. I just pulled the pin. Next morning, I woke to coffee brewing, Mom shuffling around, eyes red but dry. You okay? I asked. She nodded, faint. I'll live. I called Danny, no answer. Texted Jess, silence. Dad was gone, no trace. A week later, I dropped off groceries, bread, milk, soup, trying to mend something. Mom hugged me, stiff, then retreated to her garden, pulling weeds like it'd erase the fight. Danny texted a month later, Dad's in Toledo. Don't ask. Short, cold. I dug through Mom's attic after that, found a box photos of Dad with a brunette, Toledo postmark, 0304. Called Mike, an old co-worker of Dad's, over beers at Rusty's. Yeah, he had a fling, Mike said, casual. Short thing, thought you knew. I didn't. Months dragged on, the fallout sticking like mud. Danny and Jess moved south, new town, new jobs, barely a word. Mom's a ghost, gardening or knitting, dodging my calls half the time. Dad's vanished, word is he's in Toledo, shacked up with that woman, living off his pension and pride. I'm still at the warehouse, still popping cokes, but that day's weight I can't shake. I went back to Mom's a month ago, helped fix her porch swing, first time we talked since. I didn't cheat, Chris, she said, voice low. But your dad? I don't know anymore. I nodded, hammering nails, not pushing it. Danny called once, drunk, 2 weeks back. You're still an asshole, he slurred, then hung up. Jess sent a Christmas card, no note, just the twins' school pics. I keep replaying it. Could I have stopped it if I'd found that remote? Would we have eaten burgers and laughed it off? Maybe. But those secrets, Dad's letters, Mom's lunch, Danny's resentment, were festering long before I showed up.